Hi everybody, it's Anna. Time for a new tarot story this week. We start with the Tuesday card, and for that we have the Two of Pentacles reversed. So as I say, the number 2 is connected to rooting in and germination. So the work is underground in the 2 card, where we're kind of getting ourselves stabilized in the path we've just started. Pentacles are connected to the physical realms. They're about jobs and money, physical wellness and vitality, basically things that manifest and are experienced in the physical plane, right? So this guy is an image of, this image is a fella who's juggling pentacles at the seashore. And the pentacles are actually being juggled in an infinity loop. And I think the call of this card is to find a balance point which is sustainable ad infinitum. Like, we're going to try to have a sustainable energy loop for the time we're on the planet. So we're looking for the balance point of how we're going to use our resources, how we're going to structure our time in such a way that is self-regulating and self-sustaining, right? So we might say, if it's upright, we might say we're looking for structures to help us figure that balance point. This comes to us reversed. So when I see it reversed, what it tells me is that we have to look for our own balance point. And this is particularly important for people who are non-linear to understand. Because linear people, who by the way pretty much never come to me, linear people are able to use the structures that are already in place, kind of the status quo structures that helps them find sustainability. So maybe they're able to work 40 hours a week. They get 8 hours of sleep a night. You know, they eat whatever food you're supposed to eat. You exercise however long you're supposed to exercise. So my husband's a perfect example of this. He probably sleeps exactly the same amount every night. He goes to work. He's very, very regular, and that keeps him balanced, right? He also takes, vacations, so every, few months you take a vacation. So there's this idea, like, there's structures in place that help some people find balance. But when you're a creative intuitive, those structures don't work for you. So you have to kind of discard them. In other words, you have to trust that you know how to read your own energy, which is the reversal here. This is upsetting to the mind often because the mind thinks it's supposed to put structures in place that will help you sustain your energy. Really, what we want the mind to do is to let the intuition tell it what we need. So today I need this. Maybe tomorrow I won't need this. Or maybe I'll continue the structure for a week and a half. And at the end of the week and a half, my intuition says, no, that doesn't work anymore. So we're always having to renegotiate structures based on the current level of energy that is flowing through us, right? And which means that you may have, and a lot of my clients do this, I do this, you may have like 3 days in a row where you don't do any chores in the house. Because you're just, all your energy is doing something else. You're resting. You're doing something else, right? And so the mind can see that and go, oh, we're being lazy. We're being, unreliable. We're being inconsistent. And according to outside structures, we might be inconsistent. But according to our inward genius, we are looking for consistency is about responsiveness to balance, right? So I feel like this card's showing up now to say, to me, it's saying, your mind has to learn to respond not to the outside structures, but to the internal balance point. There are times when you feel tired, you just need to agree to that. We need to let go. Whatever other agenda we had, we're gonna have to set that aside. Like last week, I fell asleep. I had like 3-hour naps every day. And it was my week off. And my mind's like, man, what are we doing with all our energy? And my mind never really found out what we were doing with our energy, right? It's just what was happening. So being aware that your mind, the responsibility your mind has isn't to doing something that looks sustainable to others, but that is functionally sustainable to the intuition and kind of letting go of what it's supposed to look like. I would also say that I keep hearing my clients say things like, why am I not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? And I feel like I always ask, well, how do you know you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing? And they will assume, their minds are assuming that if they're not actively creating art or music or running or exercising or whatever every day, that they're wasting time. They're not functional. I would say almost never have I met any creative intuitive that functions like that. There may be those out there. I'm not saying they're not out there. I'm just saying I've never met any. None of my clients work that way. So the idea, if you're resting for a week and a half, if you're sitting around watching movies and like eating, apples and peanut butter for a week and a half, and your intuition's not arguing with it, that's what you need to be doing. You are doing what you need to be doing. It's just not what the mind expects you to be doing. So it's really important to not assume just because your mind is confused that it is correct. You know, a lot of times people, when they say that we finally land on the realization, they're doing exactly what they need to be doing. We just want the mind to quit fighting with it and learning how to agree with it and support it so that we don't have that inner conflict. So that's our card for today. See you tomorrow for our next one. Bye.